I want to take a moment. I want to say thank you to the Senate Budget Committee, both Republicans and Democrats, to our Vice Chair, to our Chair, for their work to be able to deliver an on-time and balanced budget. I want to take a moment to say thank you to the Speaker, to the Governor, and their teams for their work. And also I want to acknowledge the amazing State Senate Budget team from both sides of the aisle for their focus on this critical document. Look, I might sound like a broken record, and you probably know what I'm going to say. We did have to make some tough decisions this year. But I got to say, when is crafting a budget for the fourth largest economy in the world ever easy? We have dealt with budget shortfalls before, but this time around we have faced three unique challenges. And unlike some who don't want to talk about all the reasons, I'll be transparent about why we're seeing this shortfall. When we cite Anderson School at UCLA and why we are seeing challenges in this state, it's because of the federal policies. May not like it, but it's the truth. According to the Legislative Analyst's Office, our budget revenues have taken a $16 billion hit based off of federal policies. May not like it based off your own personal politics, but it's the truth. Second, baseline costs are up. Absolutely. If we're going to be fair and balanced, let's speak the truth. Federal policies, baseline costs are up, and no one expected this third one, a devastating LA firestorm, and the costs associated with recovery at such a large scale. Three main drivers for why we're in the fiscal condition that we are. I want to be candid in this next statement. It is so easy to say no when you can take credit for yes. I guarantee you, every member of the Senate will be at ribbon cuttings for highways, local roads and streets. You're going to be at ribbon cuttings for new affordable housing in your districts. You will be at ribbon cuttings for new homeless shelters. You'll be proud to go to your local UC, your CSU, even though you may vote against the budget. It's really easy to say no when you go back to your hometown and take credit for what you voted against. That's the truth. So let's talk about what some of us are going to vote yes on today. We're going to vote yes on investing in our kids in strong public schools. We're going to vote yes on feeding every kid at every public school in the state of California. We're going to serve over 1 billion free breakfasts and lunches for kids in every public school in every corner of this state. But yeah, some of us are going to vote against it and go to the Rotary Club and say how great it is that the state is doing this. We're going to fully fund our CSU and UC system despite the fact there are some in this chamber today that stood up, criticized some others in this chamber just 4 weeks ago for not funding UC and CSU. Happy to rewind that tape. You want to talk about affordability? Let's talk about affordability. The largest state scholarship fund is fully funded in this budget, making a living wage and the California dream more affordable by going to a CSU UC. The best thing that we can do is invest in a strong college system. We are, thanks to the Senate, we're going to expand our first-time homebuyer program. We're going to backfill funding from the feds for food banks. We're going to give child care providers a raise. And we have, as you heard the senator from Hayward, hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars to make housing more affordable. We're putting significant funding in the California community college system. We're going to invest nearly $1 billion for career training programs in every public high school and middle school in the state of California. The spending plan is going to create more workforce housing at a scale not seen in decades in the Golden State, and we got more to come on Monday with our housing and economic development trailer bills. You heard the senator from Berkeley talk about Prop 36. There wasn't funding for Prop 36 just 4 months ago in the budget. Y'all, you know who did that? The Senate. $100 million for first-year implementation, following through with the voice of the voter. Federal government cutting federal firefighters. Why isn't anyone speaking out about that? But you know what folks will speak up about? They'll pound their chest and say they're proud that they're standing with CAL FIRE, the women and men of CAL FIRE. 750 seasonal firefighters for the first time in the history of this state. 750 seasonal firefighters are now going to go to full-time status. Record funding from CAL FIRE. And by the way, we have gone from about 6,900 CAL FIRE firefighters just 9 years ago to now over 12,000. And we're in the midst of hiring, on top of this 750, we're in the midst of hiring another 2,400. But there's only one group of folks that voted to fund that. And finally, we're doing all that we can to be able to protect healthcare access for millions of vulnerable Californians who count on it, regardless of your immigration status. And I think we need to speak the truth today. You know, just 10 years ago, there were 2.6 million undocumented immigrants in the state of California, 2.6 million. Fast forward to today, it's 1.6 million undocumented immigrants in the state of California. They are the backbone of the largest agricultural industry in the United States of America. Nearly half of all farm workers in the Central Valley are undocumented. They pay $8.5 billion worth of taxes every year. They pay our salaries. And there's going to be one group of senators that are going to support continuing access to health care for them. We are a state of immigrants, 10.6 million strong, and we will never turn our backs on those who are part of the heart of the largest economy in the United States of America. So we've had to make some tough decisions. I know we're not going to please everyone, but we're doing this without any new taxes on everyday Californians, no new taxes for families and small businesses. And I hope that we can all agree that despite the challenges and the uncertainty that our state faces, California remains a global economic powerhouse. We just surpassed Japan as the fourth largest economy in the world. I heard some grumbling from a recent delegation from Japan who want to overtake us. We're going to keep that fourth largest economy status. We have a $4.1 trillion GDP. Our tourism industry, despite the fact that we are seeing a huge decline in international tourism, especially our friends from Canada, based off of this administration, we're still #1 travel destination in the United States. We give $83 billion more to the federal government than we receive. The great state of Texas, which was referenced here today, they take $70 billion more from the federal government than they give. We're #1 in agriculture, #1 in tech, #1 in manufacturing, #1 in new business starts, #1 for new business starts for minority-owned and women-owned businesses. I can continue on. 35 of the 50 top AI companies in the United States of America call California home. It's easy to kick this state, I get it. Maybe good politics. It's where you flippin' call home. I love California. I love California. Do we have challenges? You're damn right we have challenges. But we will never turn our back on the people of California, and especially when times get tough. I would respectfully ask for an aye vote on this budget. Let's get the job done for every Californian.